And that is why we have instituted the vote of no confidence. It is a constitutional provision. We didn't write that. The people in the wisdom, the authors of our constitution, put that in there. And they said that is a way of addressing the excesses and the abuses of government. If you can't wait for 5 years to change the government, that is one way of bringing them to order. It's the only way apart from a general election. And so that is why we are here. That is why we have the vote of no confidence. It is the only way. And so that is what we are calling on. We are calling on Douglas, Denzel Douglas, and the Speaker. All three of them. The Speaker, Denzel Douglas, and the government, and the Governor General. All three of them have roles to play in terms of addressing this problem in this country. And they should not wait until it gets out of hand. That will not be good for us here in this country. They should address it in a way. In fact, the fact that the Constitution says when after a vote of no confidence is debated, in fact, the government could decide to dissolve the House and go to election right away. They don't have to debate it. They could decide to dissolve the House. But the Constitution says if you debate the vote of no confidence and you lose the vote, the government lose the vote, you must resign in 3 days or call an election in 90 days. That is an indication of the urgency and the seriousness in which a vote of no confidence should be considered. It says if you lose a vote of no confidence, you must resign in 3 days. It tells you that that is an urgent and important matter. And so that is a way. That is a fair, equitable, and just way of dealing with the matters we have. So fellow citizens, brothers and sisters, comrades all, nationals, residents, we want to say that we are in basically a state of crisis. Apart from the motion of no confidence, where else in the democratic world could a government decide to just literally give away the people's patrimony like they have done with the lands? Wars are fought all over the world about land. Land is a serious problem in all countries. Nobody would want to lose their land. Land is a generational thing. People have to go on and continue to make sure that Thelma said that we pass on this as a heritage to the generations to come. Lands are vital to the development of the people and the country, and we have to understand that. Bradshaw understood that. The Labour Party understood that. That is why they fought so hard for the acquisition of the lands for the people, to give power to the people. That is what it is about. I want to read the excerpts, but I shouldn't go to that now. You know the address that Bradshaw made at the handing over ceremony at Buckley's. But even before the handing over ceremony, I want to say to you that that was so important to the country that the act that was passed in Parliament was supported in 1975, was supported by every single member of Parliament, the government and the opposition. That is one time when the entire Parliament agreed on a matter. That was so important. In fact, unity, that's right. In fact, it was so important that the entire Parliament, including members from Nevis, not only voted in Parliament for the bill, but they went to Buckley's on the morning to take over the lands. They were there present. It was unity. That's where it started. Unity of purpose. Unity to take the land for the people of this country. And so that is what it is about. Now, just imagine how the lands were taken in a unified, collective, collaborated effort. But Douglas wants to single-handedly give them away. He wants single-handedly to give away our lands. 6 of the elected parliamentarians decide that that is not a good thing. But Douglas ain't care about that. He ain't care about that. And so we have to address those matters. But then, for more unity, the lands, the acquisition of the lands were completed when the PAM NRP government, under the leadership of Dr. Simmons, paid for the lands when the time came. So Bradshaw acquired them and Simmons paid for them. Unity. Unity of purpose. That is how leaders buy into the needs and aspirations of the people. That is what we are talking about. That is what the PLP is concerned about. Joining with all political parties of all political persuasions to make sure that we address the needs and the aspirations of the people of this country. How could anyone claiming to understand the need to provide opportunities to our people and could be such a traitor to the cause? Selling out our lands is betraying our cause. And that is what Denzel Douglas has done. And when he done, he wants to call people traitor. He is the real traitor. He is the real traitor. But you know, old people used to go away saying that when they had 2 women abusing one time, and one of them had a grandchild, 2 of them had Bigfoot, and the grandchild tell the grandmother, "Grandmother, tell about she Bigfoot before she tell you about your one." And that's what Douglas doing, calling people traitor when he know that he is the real traitor. But he will not get away with that. Literally squandering our lands, our patrimony. We have to do that. And then, to show you how the man really think we are fools, because we are addressing this issue of land, all of a sudden, he find 500 lots to distribute to the people in the country. All of a sudden, from nowhere, because election come in, just like he did in the 2000 election. He believed that we will continue to be fooled by his tricks and his gimmicks. Those things cannot continue. And then, comrades, members and friends, brothers and sisters, nationals all. Family! Family! We are family. So family, when we turn our minds to the scandalous affairs of our passport and the SIDF fund, we see we have another problem. That in itself is time for Douglas to really pack up and leave. On that issue alone, our passport and the SIDF. This program is under a cloud of secrecy and controversy, and has devalued our citizenship. Somehow we don't feel proud to be called Kittians anymore. Somehow we can't feel proud to be brandishing our passport that we are from St. Kitts. And so we have to set that right. The program lacks transparency and accountability. And that is what the unity government will bring to this process. Transparency and accountability. He says that the SIDF fund is a private fund. How could it be a private body when the cabinet secretary is on it? When the head of skipper is on it? Why is the chair of the Electoral Commission on the board? The National Bank says that it does not control the money in the SIDF, although it is the founder. We really don't understand what's happening. Nobody's clear about this SIDF program. And that needs addressing and addressing urgently. And it is clear that Douglas cannot do it. It wants fresh eyes to look at the problems at the SIDF. So I don't understand who then is this private body which control the SIDF. We have to know about that. In addition to the manner in which the SIDF is handled, we have the careless and reckless approach to the national debt. You know Douglas' response when people are telling him, warning him, Prime Minister, you have to be careful with the national debt. And in his usual lewd and crude manner, his response is, national debt me. How sad. Look the state he has brought us to. As a result of his not listening and understanding to worthwhile suggestions and advice. The man is he's not one man, he's a 10 man in one. We can't have that anymore in our country. All this and more is why we find ourselves at this time of deep frustration, anger even. It is all these matters and more that have brought us to this critical situation, this crisis. The country is fed up, tired, and disgusted by the deceit, the carelessness with the truth, and the lewd and crude misconduct played out by the Prime Minister in Parliament and the washroom and all over this country, in any forum you think. If you hear nationals abroad, how embarrassed they are at the conduct and the behavior of the Prime Minister. And that is why we are here tonight. We have come to this platform to make a passionate plea to our beloved nation. We need a collective response to this tragedy, to this crisis in this country. We need unity. And unity begins with you, and you, and you, and you, and you. Unity begins with all of us. We must come together from across the political divide, from across the political landscape, to claim our godly heritage. That is what it is about. When we witness this level of alienation, disillusionment, and discontent as a result of the high unemployment, the high cost of food, and the high electricity bills, and when the Denzel Douglas-led administration act as though they are not understanding, when they have gone deaf on us, it is time for us to act collectively and to make a change in this country. And that is why we are here. It is time for all of us to stand up, to step up, and to band ourselves together for the good of all. Thank God the vast majority of people have come to the political maturity demanding openness and accountability in this country. And we have come to the inescapable conclusion that unity is the way forward. We are all agreed that the only way we could do it is together. And so the people understand that unity is strength. When I say unity, you say strength. Unity, unity, unity. And let no one tell you that we cannot work together, live together, and care for each other. That is the best way forward. We are admonished to put away the misunderstandings and disappointments of the past, to learn from our mistakes, and to seize the new day. As Martin Luther said, the urgency of now, we must start now. We cannot wait for any later moment. And according to St. Matthew, all things will be made possible with a united people. While according to St. Paul's, all of you have unity of mind, sympathy, brotherly and sisterly love, a tender heart, and a humble mind. That is what it is about. It is about unity. Because unity, that is what it is about. Remember though, that unity begins with you. And you. And you. And you. And you. Unity begins with all of us. A unity government will provide a seat at the table for all the representatives of the people. We will provide a collective and collaborative approach to resolving the social, political, and economic challenges that we face. A commitment to honor the Constitution and to uphold the rule of law. A good governance agenda will involve constitutional reform, electoral reform, integrity in public life, freedom of information, and much more. Fellow citizens, nationals all, this is what the unity government is about. It is about a new order, a new dispensation, when all of us will be walking together, linking hands in hand as brothers and sisters, and going forward to a better and brighter future. That is why I'm here. That is the only reason why I'm here. But it will only happen with the support of all of us working together. We ask for nothing better, nothing more. Unity is strength, and unity begins with you. I want to thank you. I love you all. Love you, love you, love you.